Hey yo guys, welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today you're getting our first impressions of I Loved You at Your Darkest by Behemoth. Alright guys, so Behemoth, new album, we're super excited, super hyped. First album in like, what, 4 years?
Yeah.
Follow up to The Satanist, which is a masterpiece.
Yeah, man, these guys got some pretty big shoes to fill, and The Satanist is
Their own shoes. It's their own shoes.
Their own shoes, but still, it's like, the follow-up's got a lot of kind of potential to reach, just because their last release was that good. Now, we have heard a few of the songs already. They did drop some music videos. There were 3 of them. We listened to all of them. We reacted to all of them, so check out those reactions.
And we liked all of them, too.
Yes, we did.
They're all really cool songs.
They're all cool. A few of them took some steps in different directions, so I am excited to see Behemoth perhaps get a little experimental with this album.
True.
But without further ado, we're about to listen to this album for the first time in its entirety. We'll be right back to give you guys our first impressions of I Loved You at Your Darkest. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, we're back. We just listened to I Loved You at Your Darkest for the first time in its entirety. And off the bat here, I'm just gonna say something that reflects what you said at the very beginning of the video, that Behemoth has some big shoes to fill. And off the first impressions, so far, I don't quite think they filled those shoes. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. I feel like this album was one of those cases where the first half of the album was really strong, the second half of the album, not so strong. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that can go into why that is. I'll say it again, this is just a first impression, so things are gonna change along, throughout the week as we listen to it more, but what did you think? Do you have any, what do you want to say about it?
You know, I feel the same way as you. Like, this album didn't feel as strong as The Satanist. Now, as you said, this is only a first impression. We've only heard the album one single time.
Yeah.
And I also agree with you that the first half is a lot stronger than the second half, and I felt the band was a lot more experimental in their first half.
Yeah.
They did a lot of things you don't usually expect from Behemoth. Like, I found a lot of grooves and a lot of riffs were very open-ended, and they were very relaxed, really straightforward, basic beats that were happening. Not to say this is a bad thing, it sounded great. I'm just saying this is really new for the band.
Yeah, and one thing you actually mentioned while we were listening is that the way the rhythms and the guitar riffs were kind of, not clashing, but almost contradicting each other the way they sounded, but they still meshed together very well. It was something that kind of kept happening throughout a few different songs. You pointed it out and I started listening going, he's kind of right, like, this riff doesn't go with this beat, but they're doing it and it sounds good. That was something that was kind of weird too. Yeah,
a good example of that is If Crucifixion Was Not Enough, which is the 6th track, has a D beat, but the guitars sound really open and really relaxed.
Very melodic too.
Directly contradicting each other, but they sound good together.
Yeah. That's you expect like a heavy, like thrashy riff to go along with that.
Yeah.
That beat, but no, it was very, like you said, open, wide, melodic, and
Yeah, that was close to the turning point for this album. I really feel like it started to kind of dropped it by track 9, which is Habohe Pentokrator.
Yeah, hard to pronounce some of these names.
Not sure about that one, but I feel like that song, Onward, the songs kind of started to feel like a parody of itself. It felt like kind of typical Behemoth, which isn't bad, but with how special the first few tracks were, kind of dropped it. But the last song, Coagula, I really liked the riff. I felt it did a good job as a conclusion.
It was a very good bookend. Yeah, it was very good. There was a smooth transition between track 11 and that last track. A lot of busy percussion, which is something that you kind of grow to know with the band. But like I said, great bookend to the album. There was a intro track and outro track, both of them kind of encapsulated the rest of the song very well, I thought.
Yeah, and something funny about those is that the first one is called Solve, the last one's called Coagula.
Yeah.
That's in reference to Baphomet, as with his depiction, those words are with him, which means, to break apart and to bring together. So that's a cool thing that the band did as the bookend, as, the theming of Behemoth is pretty obvious with all the satanic stuff.
And they're very creative in the way they display it too, and the way they present it as well. It's not just in your face. You kind of got to know some stuff and figure stuff out.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to it.
What was your favorite song? Do you have a highest rated song?
100%, track number 3, God Equals Dog. Holy shit.
Right.
We reacted to this a while ago.
Yep.
So it's like, when the song came on, I didn't really remember it that much.
Yeah.
But when it came on, I was surprised by so many things. Just, the cool groove at the start. It had a similar vibe and energy that Wolves of Siberia did, which is the track before, but I feel like it was just harder, deeper, thicker, stronger.
Yeah.
Nergal's vocal inflections in this song are fucking incredible. There's this one scream he does near the beginning that sounds so deep and disgusting. I love it.
Sick.
And I also love the references to what is sung during Solve, the first track. You know, I shall not forgive. That comes back in God Equals Dog.
Right.
I thought that was clever. That's kind of what put that song over the edge for me as being the best song.
It's a cool reflection, yeah.
They came back to that because we both said to each other, like, watch, you know, what they're saying in this first track come back somewhere.
Yep.
And they came back here and it was amazing. I loved it.
I gotta agree with you. Like, that was definitely, I have 2 songs that were my highest rated, and that was one of them. The other one was the other single that we reacted to recently, Bartzabel. That song, I think, is also really, really sick.
Yeah, the intro is amazing.
The drum intro is so deep, so thick. I mean, just so passionate in the drums. And then the guitar solo in that song is also so passionate, very emotional. I mean, it just feels like it's got so much in it, so much heart in it, and I just love the way it sounds. You mentioned Nergal's voice, like, throughout the whole album. Like, he's a phenomenal vocalist, bar none, but on this album, there's certain songs where I was just kind of like, wow, like, he's really, really put it out there. And obviously, great thing.
Another thing to notice about it, the vocals, is that there was a lot of clean vocals happening.
Yeah, there's probably 3 or 4 songs with some clean vocals, which is not something you really hear in Behemoth at all, if ever.
Yeah, and you know, even on this album, some of the clean vocals were like right behind Nergal's vocals, some of them were like really together with it, some of them were actually kind of in front of his vocals, taking more of a, like, you know, main kind of presentation, which is interesting that they did that.
What did you think of song number 8, Sabbath Mater?
Sabbath Mater?
Yes.
Yeah, like I wrote in my notes that like the cleans really come out in the chorus of that one, and that it has a straightforward groove that's also good.
Yep.
I really liked the second verse. When you got to the solo was really pretty sounding, and then when it got to like near the end of the solo section, the bass sounded so fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's just so dirty. And
really
just,
thick, really, like, dirty, grimy bass line. Speaking of the solo in that song, I felt like it was very long and very intricate, but it didn't reach like a peak level for me. I liked the whole thing, and I'm hoping with more listens it starts to grow on me, because I felt like that solo had a lot of potential, a lot to offer, but I was expecting something to happen that didn't happen. I was expecting them to like spaz out and just do some crazy licks or something, but it didn't happen. But it was very long and very intricate, but it just didn't have that wow moment for me. But I felt like that song, the structure of that song was very unique compared to the rest of the album, and it felt like I was listening to like a Mastodon song, but with like Behemoth playing it. It almost felt like Behemoth playing a cover of a Mastodon song. Just the way it was coming out, I'm not exactly sure what I got from that, but either way, overall, I think that, you know, I enjoyed the first listen. I definitely enjoyed it, but when I'm trying to compare it to the Satanist, which maybe I shouldn't do.
Yeah,
you know,
that might be
we shouldn't do
too
that.
difficult of a comparison.
Maybe it's a little unfair. But still, like, first half of the album very strong, second half not as strong. Maybe they could have mixed the tracks a little better, rearranged the tracks in a better way, so it doesn't feel so dead on the second half.
Yeah.
But, you know, with more listens, we're gonna see what happens, man.
Absolutely. I mean, the second half, it's not like it was bad, and it still has potential. I also feel like the first half overshadowed once again because of how experimental it is. So if you were to listen to this album backwards, it would probably sound very different.
Right.
Like, you'd probably start with Coagula, and then as you go backwards through the track,
just get better.
It would get better and better, and you wouldn't have that first half to kind of overshadow, you know? If you're treating the second half as its own first half, then it's not going to get overshadowed by anything. So that's always one thing I like to try to do when we review albums, is listen to it backwards and see if my perspective on the later songs change.
Right. I also think maybe shuffling this album might be a little weird because the intro and outro songs fit so well as intro and outro songs.
Yeah.
Plus the way track 11 bleeds into track 12 like seamlessly.
Oh yeah.
Those are things that you're gonna catch when you're shuffling the album. They're gonna sound very abrupt and kind of out of place.
Yeah.
But who knows, it might not be that bad, so whatever.
It's usually not that bad. It's a bit disjunct, and I feel like this is an album that you should really, like, the best way of listening is from top to bottom.
Right.
But shuffling ain't a problem.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna listen to the album as much as we can throughout the entire week on every platform we can, and we will be back in a week to give you guys our full and final review of I Loved You at Your Darkest by Behemoth. So be sure to like this video, comment below and let us know what you guys think of this album. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, but I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
And we'll see you guys later. Keep them heads banging. Bam!